Hi, everybody. Um, Good evening. Good evening. Let's see who will be our first viewer today. Let's see. Welcome to another time of learning, another time of um, just to share an idea with you. Hi, Mr. Albert. How are you? How is the family? And how is work also? So it's another great time this evening. Welcome, Sheung Yaya. How are you today? So I'll be sharing with you on different learning techniques that we have. Different learning techniques that we have. That's what I'll be sharing with you. Before I say that, one of the things I want to say is, as individuals, as guardians, or as parents, it's important that we know the best method that suits our learning. It's important that we know the best technique to learn for ourselves and for our kids. So for your kids, for your children, one of the things you should pay attention to is how do they learn? How do they learn? How fast do they learn? So because if you have like 50 students in a classroom, the rest are sure that they don't all learn the same way. They all have their different techniques. They all have their different methods. So as a parent or guardian, you must pay attention to the learning techniques of your children. You just need to just observe them. What are they drawn to? What are they attached to? Do you understand? So that's very important for you to know. And the second point is, for us to change a nation. Welcome, Biodun Luto Michelle. So good to see you. Please let's go and share this so that people can know we are here today. For us to change a nation, education is very important. And not only education, quality education is very important for us to change a nation. It's not rocket science. It's not something that it's done in a rush. Because education involves the development of the minds of people. So every time you find a nation that is struggling, a nation that is poor, a nation that has a low human capital, then you can as well say that that country is yet to be educated. And like I usually say in my post, education is not a matter of whether you have MSc or PhD or that's not the criteria of being educated. That's not the criteria. So remember my point, and that is, for us to change a nation, for us to be able to move forward as individuals, for us to be able to raise the best of kids, the best of children, the best of people, education is very vital. And that's why I do what I do, just to break it down to you, to be able to know the different parts that is involved in education. So I'm going to start straight away. Like I said, today's topic is 9 different types of learners. Number 1, a visual learner. Welcome, Queen Gift. How are you today? A visual learner, like the word visual, the eyes. A visual learner is someone who learns from what they see. A visual learner is someone who learns from what they see. Which means that we have to be very careful about what we see, about what we watch, about what we deliberately watch. You can't just afford to lay your eyes on just because you just feel like watching something, then you just bring up unnecessary movies that can actually tamper with your mindset. So, as a visual learner, note that every time you see something, in few minutes, you've already picked it up. That shows that you're a visual learner. So you must pay attention to what you see, and also for your kids, you must also pay attention to what they watch. It's very important, because once something gets into their mind, you have the subconscious, you have the normal, and you have the subconscious. Once something gets into your mind, it's still okay, you can still get it out. But once something or an information gets into your subconscious, it's going to take you a long time before you detox such information. It's going to take you a while before you detox such information. So be guided about what you watch, about what you lay your eyes on. Is so important. Number 2, kinesthetic learners. Kinesthetic learners are those who learn by doing. It simply means that for some people, for them to get the best out of the information or the knowledge you are sharing with them, they have to be practical about it. That's why our educational system also, in some countries, for example, Nigeria, has to do with theory alone, just theoretical. So when we get outside the world, when we get outside the four walls of the university, we cannot produce anything. Why? Because it has not been practiced to see if it is applicable to the real world. Welcome, Queen Fumilola. Welcome, Queen Oriyomi Jinad. How are you? So it's so important that aside learning just by learning, you have to be able to practice what you've learned to know if it is applicable or not. So, and that's one of the problems of our world today. Just theory, just giving them theory and over and over and over again. So before you know it, by the time they get outside, they can't replicate. They cannot invent. They cannot create something. They cannot map out a strategy. They cannot come up with proper solutions. They cannot provide solutions to real life problems. So you have someone who is educated but cannot provide solutions even to his own problems. Then there's a problem. It simply means that something is not right. So number 2, kinesthetic learners learn by doing. They learn by doing. Number 3, auditory learners hears. That's why I want to say this, if you are the very busy type, ensure that, and you know that you learn so much by hearing. That means that you have a gift in such a way that you must not waste your time. That means that when you are driving to work, when you are going to school, when you are doing anything, when you are in the kitchen, you can be playing messages that can help you grow. You can be playing information that will be applicable to your life. And as well, one of the things also that you should ensure that your kids get used to is when they are around the house, play messages that can challenge their thinking pattern. Play messages that can challenge the way they think. By that, even though they might be doing something else, subconsciously, those information are actually, the informations are actually getting into them. So if you are an auditory learner, you must not waste your time. In the sense that when you are going out in your car, just ensure that you are playing things that can inspire you at every point in time. you must be making use of your time. So if you're an auditory learner, it's an advantage, it's good. So when you're going to work, you can easily plug something in your ear. You can just listen as you go to work. Welcome, Adeleke Gbemisola, so good to see you. So number four, stress learner. Number four, stress learner. They learn by what stresses them. Isn't that funny? Some people learn by what stresses them. So if something stresses you, some set of people, once things stress them, they are actually getting the information. They are actually getting knowledge behind what stresses them. They are actually getting knowledge behind what stresses them. So pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to your health to be sure that you are that kind of learner. So if something you are so stressed out, and even after being stressed out, you are able to learn from everything that has happened. You are able to quickly learn, okay, this is what happened. Yeah, I get it. So you are a stress learner. You know that when you are under duress, when you are under stress, you can easily pick up what the problem is. So that's what a stress learner is. Number five is funny. It's a funny type of learning. Ease learner. And ease learner they are the set of people that learn by what relaxes them. That's why when some people go on vacation, they learn a lot. They learn a lot when they go on vacation. They are able to learn because they are relaxed. Nothing stresses them. You know, they have peace of mind. That is what someone said, really, I did not know that. Oh, yes, there is. There is. Thank you for your comment. So, an ease learner, some set of people, once they are not stressed out, once they are easy, they are calm, they are cool, they are able to learn. They are able to learn so fast. They are able to assimilate so fast. And also, for those who learn with ease, they are those whose minds are calm. So when they are not stressed out, when they have a peaceful mind, they are calm, their thinking process, their thought is so clear. I hope you know that sometimes when you sit without doing anything, for example, when you wake up in the morning, part of the things you should do when you wake up in the morning is to spend some time thinking. Just have a clear thought. Just have a clear mind. Let your mind be very clear. So it simply means that you have to train yourself not to be worried, because some people are always worried. It's either they don't have money, it's either they don't have this, they don't have that. So when you wake up in the morning, one of the things I do is sometimes, I don't want to say this, but okay, let me just say it. Sometimes I wake up very early. For example, I go to the bathroom. That's one of the best places I think the most. I could just sit down or just stand on a spot, and I'm just calm. I'm just thinking about, a lot of productive things. Some of the quotes that comes to my head, some of the write-ups that comes to my mind, sometimes come in the toilet, comes in the bathroom. So when you wake up in the morning, I want to challenge you. Don't be in a hurry to just get up and run out, or just have some time to yourself. Have some time just have a clear mind. Clear your mind. Be calm and clear your mind. So that's 5. Number 5, like I said, is ease learner. People that learn from ease. Number 6, a scribble learner. Scribble learner is someone who learns by writing out. Someone who learns by writing out. For example, me, I am a scribble learner. Let me show you. Look at my notes. Can you see my notes? All this that you can see, they are all my, when I learn, I write. When I learn, I write. That's one of the best ways I'm able to comprehend what I'm reading. So for example, if I'm scrolling through my Facebook and I see someone write something so inspiring, guess what? I pick out my note and I write it down immediately. The reason is because when I'm done, I could just be going out, or on my spare time, I read through what I've written. Do you understand? So if you are a scribble learner, it simply means that you learn by writing out. You learn by writing out. That is who a scribble learner is. Number seven is a trust learner. A trust learner, someone who learns from authority. That's very dicey, because it simply means that if the person you are looking up to is not on the right track, there's every tendency that you will also not be on the right track, because that's one of the best ways that you learn. You learn from maybe those ahead of you. So it simply means that for someone who is a trust learner, you have to be able to combine other sources of learning, more than 2 or 3 or 4. So in case the authority you are looking up to is messing up or is not doing the right thing, you know you have other sources of learning. So a trust learner is someone who learns from authority. Is someone who learns from authority. And by the way, if you have a good leader, someone who leads, it's one of the fastest way of learning. Okay, for example, let me share with you. Let me just share also. My mentor is Dr. Sunday Adelaja, comes teaching every day. It does teaching on a daily basis. And because it does that, I also told myself, because I've been studying for a long time, that okay, let me see what I can do. I think I can also come and teach on a daily basis. That's because the person ahead of you is running with a lot of speed. I mean, double and double speed. So it's easy to learn from them. Why? Because they are constantly developing themselves on a daily basis. Such people don't waste 1 hour. They don't even waste 1 minute. They know the value of time. So that's a trust learner. Number 8 is a teaching learner. A teaching learner, that's someone who learns by teaching. I'm also a teaching learner. The more I teach, the more I know. The more I teach, the more I know. The more I teach, the more I know. For example, what I taught yesterday, I think in the evening before I slept, or early this morning, I was reflecting on what I taught yesterday. I taught on ignorance yesterday. So if you've not seen, if you didn't listen to me yesterday, I have a YouTube channel. You can actually go to my YouTube channel, Abidemi Shomoye. Just search for Abidemi Shomoye. Then, subscribe. Then you can see most of my teachings on it. So I learned by teaching. The more I teach, the more I know. The more I teach, the more I know. So as I'm speaking, I'm actually listening to my echo. I'm actually listening to myself as I teach. So that's someone who learns by teaching. And number nine is a copy learner. That's someone who learns by copying other people. Someone who learns by copying other people. So there's nothing wrong. If you see, yeah, Queen Gift, she says me too. That's nice. If you see someone who is doing what you love, someone who is doing what you love, listen to them. See the way they do things. Observe them, how they carry themselves. Just do a lot of observations. Listen to them, write out. You can actually copy them. But the beauty about copying is that no matter how hard you try to copy people 100%, you will never be able to copy them 100%. Why? Because you have your own unique abilities. You are so unique. That's how, sometimes I just imagine how God could create every person differently. Everyone, up to like 7.6 billion people on the face of the earth, God created everybody differently. That's one of the things I'm yet to comprehend. So sometimes when I think about this, I just say, thank you, Lord. Wow. So you can copy from people. Copy the good things. Don't copy the bad things, because it's easy to also copy the bad things, especially when people don't know it's wrong. So a copy learner is someone who learns by copying other people. One of the reasons why I'm teaching this is because our children have not been properly taught in schools. So most times when they get within the university, I can see those lapses. I can see those loopholes. I can see those deficiencies. So the responsibility lies on parents, guardians, mentors to actually, pay attention to those under them. For example, if you are a parent, you need to actually pay attention to your kids. It's so important. Pay attention to them, study with them, learn with them, encourage them to be the best of themselves. Especially your kids as they grow up. Dedicate 80, 90, 100% of your time to ensure that you tutor them personally. Ensure you tutor them personally. When they go to school, they are going to learn every other thing. Some things that are not right, but if you've been able to give to them the proper foundation, if you've been able to teach them right, by the time to get to the school, it's easy for them to actually walk over the tough times and the tough issues of life. But dedicate yourself to ensure that everyone that is accountable to you, for example, that you're accountable for, your kids, maybe your family. For example, in your family, one of the things you should start doing is to gather your family together, your kids, and begin to have intellectual discussions. Engage their minds. And I'm going to close with this. The reason why, I hope you know that Africa as a whole, 70% of the population of the people in Africa are less than the age of 30. 70% from research of the people at the whole of Africa, their age is less than 30. So we have to dedicate ourselves to consistent learning of the right information. If your kids are grown up, call them up, find out. So what have you learned today? Yes, they will tell you they've learned their school books, very important. But let them also tell you life issues, the new things that they've learned. So pay attention to these learning techniques. It's easy. One can learn them over time. It doesn't come at once. Some people have 8 out of the 9. Some people have 5 out of the 9. Some people have 6 out of the 9. Some people have a lot of it. But the most important is pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to the best technique that works for you, and dedicate yourself. Dedicate yourself to consistent daily learning. Consistent and daily learning. When you learn all the time, it will be difficult for people to deceive you. It will be difficult for people to call A B and B A. So it's important, go through the techniques, and I hope you've been able to learn something new. And one other thing also that you must know is, as a learner, someone who has one of these types of learning, Being a learner helps you to be able to identify when something is false or true. Being a consistent learner, someone who loves to learn, you'll be able to identify the two. So once you identify something is false, you can't back such claims. That won't be right. So I hope you've been able to learn something. And let me just say hello to everybody. Wow, I have a lot of people. Abata Gudosi, Sheun Yaya, Biodo Olutumishe, Gift Blessing Amos. You are doing a good job, I must say to you. Keep it up. You are doing a very good job. Fumilola Oluwatosin Abiola Kuti. So good to see you today. Queen Oriyomi, how are you? I also salute you. How is the family? This person, his name is not here. I think his name is written in Arabic. How are you? Thank you for watching, and I'm waving at you. Queen Gibbs said, it's so sad for the Nigerian educational sector. Yeah. And that's why I'm taking my time to actually teach the basics that people must know. The basic things they must know. Fatai Oyintola Dioti, so good to see you. I dove my heart for you. Faduma Abiodun Paul, you're also doing a great job. I saw the book that you just published. I salute you for what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. People are getting inspired without even you knowing that. Queen Flo Bello, so good to see you. I also dove my heart for you. King Yomi Jagade, thank you so much for your time. I'll be out tomorrow. I'll also be here tomorrow by 6 p.m. I'll be sharing some statistics on education. The importance of quality education. I've dedicated my time to this. I'll be doing this every day. I don't know when I'm going to stop, but I'm going to be doing this every day. So please remember, just go straight down and hit your share button. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Do have a beautiful evening. Bye.